Alafia. I'm Philip Neimark, the founder of the Icofa Foundation International. I'd like to welcome you to the first iteration, or the many iterations, of the Icofa for the month of 2015, January, the start of a whole new era. When I say the start of a whole new era, it's because, well, it may not be understandable to all of you, or always out in the forefront, but basically I look each and every week, each and every month, at those things which I do, looking for a better way to handle them, looking for a way in which the truth, or the absolute honesty of what we are doing comes to play. And this is not an easy task, by the way. It is a very, very difficult task. But after several years, I would say, of thinking about this, there's a shift in paradigms. There's a genuine difference in what this Icofa presents and does and allows you to do, and what it has been doing in the past. You see, that's the problem, actually, with IFA in general, and that is this fixed body of information, this ability to take information and say, okay, we're going to do it this way, and this way, and this way, and it's always going to be that way, and that's the correct way, and nothing else will suffice. And of course, there's a whole big reason why we make changes. And the reason is manifest in the presentation. I remember when we started, and we had the first website, and the first not-for-profit, and the first this, and the first that. And frankly, we sat on that information for too long a period of time. And it was information which should have been updated and brought to bear in a way that made it more accessible, more meaningful to you, the average listener. So, at any rate, this month, you're going to see the Icofa for January of 2015 is going to have a whole different sense, a whole different way of doing things. And that way is going to make it much more accessible for you, much more interesting to you, and much more effective to you in getting your work done than it did 6 months or a year or 2 years ago. And I know, who knows, if I should live long enough, and I have every intention of doing that. Ian Faye and and the rest of our crew, but Vas and I primarily, will be working day and night on a whole different group of things for you to understand and put into play. Because this month you're going to find the differences in the understanding and the utilization of a whole new group of Odus in a way that I think was going to strike a chord of real sense to you, real understanding. For instance, very shortly, Vas is going to be doing a series of WebExes, catching people up on the reading for the year, and it's going to be held on 3 different nights. an hour each night. And for those, by the way, who are not fortunate enough, to have seen it, please make it a point to do so. Make it a point to, get on the list. Call Icofa or contact her. You can get the address on our website and other Icofa. Vasa, and say, hey, I just haven't been part of this. I don't know why, but right now you're suggesting to me that the whole new era is coming, a whole new way of viewing this information, and that is going to take this information and move it from the static and move it into the dynamic viewpoint. So do that. I mean, it's going to come back to every Wednesday after this 3-day period is over, but Vasa is going to try to make clear how you can handle and why you should handle differently the Odu for the year. So, at any rate, having said that, the Odu for the month is Ofun Ogunda. And Ofun Ogunda is a very good Odu for us to hang our hat on. Ofun is about wisdom and knowledge being first, primary, and absolute. I know in some other paradigms, they cast Ofun and they run away from it, or they, spit on the floor, or do all kinds of things. But basically, there is no question in my mind that Ofun for the Babalao carries with it the knowledge and the depth of thinking that we need to overcome those tasks for the month. And on the emotional spiritual side, it's Ogunda. It's making sure that those things that we put in place are things we are going to finish. They're things we're going to, we start and we're going to finish. We're not going to allow ourselves to be dragged away. We're not going to allow, others to drag us away. We're not going to take that small break that makes everything, seem better. We're going to do our work, and we're going to do it in a way that is going to make us highly successful. Nicely enough, it comes the array, so that lets us, gives us a leg up, at any rate, on understanding what's involved here. And basically, when it comes down to saying, hey, what is it that Orunmila wants for the coming month, it is two simple, or I would call them fairly simple things. One, Orunmila would like coffee. Now, some of you are going to debate that, and they're going to say, well, is it black coffee? Is it, it could be any kind of coffee that you want. And two, it should be honey. So what does this all say? It all says that there is a component here. If we listen to it, if we, put our minds to the test of wisdom and knowledge and dedication and hard work, it is the ability to follow through on this in a way that makes it all worthwhile. It's not always as simple, as I present it to be, but it is always quite understandable once you get it and get the idea that we're dealing with energy which never stops changing, which never stops metamorphing, and which is always going to be, incredibly important to us. So basically what we want to do there is, of course, we want to take coffee, put it with a cup or container in front of our Orunmila. We want to take the honey and we want to put that on the Ikin itself. We want to light 2 white candles, and we would like to pray to Orunmila to please give us the understanding and the sense of urgency that this is not a game. This is not something that we can toss about or make fun of or say, oh gee, that worked out, so what are we going to do now? It is basically our task, and our task for the future. It is our monthly view of what must be done. So keep that in mind, and until next time, love and blessings.